The ninth principle, and this is extremely important. Islam calls to Al-Wasatiyyah. It calls to being balanced in everything. Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. Like this, we made you a middle ummah, a balanced ummah, so that you can be witnesses over the people, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam can be a witness over you. This wasatiyah, my brothers and sisters, it is in akhlaq as well as aqeedah and ahkam and everything else. So no one should be calling to some characteristics rather than others. Now, I'm not going to dirty the masjid by mentioning the name of some of these sufaha, foolish people, and what they're calling to. But for example, this whole thing of, I don't like this word, لكن بس حتى يفهم يعني مني, this word of toxic masculinity. What's the reality of it? The reality of it is calling to some of the sifat of rujula duna ba'd. Some of them, but not the others. So the man should be strong, qawi, lahu hayba. He should have a presence. People should be scared in his presence. He should be. طيب, وين الكرم? وين الرفق? Where's his generosity? Where's his softness? Where's his crying for the sake of Allah? أَفَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِبَعْضِ الْكِتَابِ وَتَكْفُرُونَ بِبَعْضِ? Do you believe in some of the book but you don't believe in the rest? Islam calls to wasatiyah. It calls to bravery without throwing yourself into destruction. It calls to strength without oppressing people. It calls to gentleness without being weak and cowardly. Islam is wasat. So this da'wah now, to be honest, where did it come from? It came because the society is telling all our men to behave like women. So what came out of it is al-ghulu wa tatarruf, extremism. And the people went to the other side. And they focus on some characteristics of masculinity and they leave the others. So they focus on strength. Tayyib, but strength by itself, where's the gentleness, where's the generosity, where's the kindness, where's the care for other people that the Prophet ﷺ had? Then the other side is telling you need to be in touch with your feminine side, you need to be gentle and you need to be keda wa keda. Tayyib, where's the strength? Where's the power? Islam is the only system that calls to al-wasatiyyah, balance. We don't focus on strength without forbearance and kindness and gentleness and wisdom. And we don't focus on gentleness and kindness and wisdom without bravery and strength and so on. And something amazed me. This is actually the reason I gave this lecture. It's got a story to it. I read an article in the news. And I'm a person, I tend to flick through news headlines, just the headlines. And there was an article grabbed my attention and I opened it. And I advise the brothers, if you do that, you must open them with the picture switched off. You never know what these people put in newspaper articles. But I opened it. It was an article about Hollywood redefines what it is to be a man. I was looking at it and I was interested, so I opened it up. So what they were saying is, in the 80s and the 90s, the early 2000s maybe, Hollywood had a particular impression of masculinity, right? Big guy, big muscles, breaks everything, smashes everything down, leaves a trail of destruction in his wake and all of that. And now, apparently, they're calling to like a new kind of hero who's supposed to be in touch with himself, and he cries and he opens his heart up to people and he feels, he wears his heart on his sleeve and he's emotional and he admits his failures and blah, blah, blah. What surprised me out of this is how useless these people are at understanding haqiqatul rajula. What does it really mean to be a man? فَلَا هَذَا وَلَا هَذَا. Neither is this what it means to be a man, nor is that. they failed completely to understand what it means to be a man. Only when you have wasatiyyah do you bring the two together. And I'm going to give you an example of that. The example is narrated by Al-Tabarani in Al-Mu'jam Al-Kabir, والدارمي in his Sunan, that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, لقي رجل من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رجلا من الجن فصارعه الإنسي. He said there was a man from the companions of the Prophet ﷺ met a man from the jinn, and they agreed to wrestle, and the man from the companions beat him. فقال له الجني عاودني. The jinn said, come on, let's go again. He went again, فعاوده فصرعه. So he defeated him easily. Till he said to him, إني لأراك ضئيلا شحيبا. You're really weak. You're just like, he said, it's like your bones, you're like, it's like wrestling a dog. You're so weak. He's saying to the jinn, you're so weak. The jinni replies, he said, La wallah, inni minhum la dali'. I am from the strongest of all the jinn. فقال رجل من القوم, a man from the people said, يا أبا عبد الرحمن من ذاك الرجل من أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. A man came and said, oh Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, who was this man? فعبس عبد الله وأقبل عليه وقال من يكون هو إلا عمر رضي الله عنه. He said, who can it be except Umar ibn Khattab? Umar ibn Khattab wrestled the strongest among the jinn, and he said, you're very weak, man. It's like wrestling a little puppy. I just break you like that. Easy. He said, I'm from the strongest of the jinn. طيب, this is the same Umar ibn al-Khattab. But Abdullah ibn Shaddad radiallahu anh said, سمعت نشيج عمر وأنا في آخر الصف في صلاة الصبح وهو يقرأ إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. He said, I heard Umar weeping, crying his eyes out from the back of the saf of the masjid while he was leading the Fajr prayer. And he was reading, I only complain of my grief and sorrow to Allah. فَذَاكَ Umar, this Umar who was so strong that he wrestles the jinn like it's a puppy, is the same Umar that is crying his eyes out to the point that the people in the back of the masjid, there's no microphone, can hear the weeping of Umar in his salah. This is rujula, ikhwani. It's not mujarrad al-quwwah. It's not just strength. And it's not just being in touch with your feelings. It's the person who brings it together in the way that the Prophet ﷺ did.